We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Working on a Kenwood TS430S HF ham radio transmitter receiver, transceiver. Kind of in the middle of it right now. I've been working on it off and on and for several days. But I thought, you know what? This problem that I'm having right now, I've got two problems with it. I had several more, but I've got down to two that's causing functionality problems. Let me show you the radio and I'll describe it as I go. Close that door right there. This is the veritable Kenwood TS430S right here. HF. Let's see, it covers, I forgot how many bands it covers. But anyway, it has the FM board in it right here. I think that's an FM 430, I think that's what it's called. IF board right here, display board, various control boards right there. Some more control boards here. It has Vox processor on board, ALC, narrowband, LSB, USB, CW, AM, FM, mic gain, your carrier level, your A equals B, memory channels, memory scan, lock, memory recall, programmable scan step, MN, hold, your band up and down, your increment settings, RIT, the noise blanker attenuator, notch filter, your function switch, like you can reverse the frequency A versus frequency B, blah blah blah, or B minus R, whatever. Memory channel select, your notch filter, squelch, your AF and RF levels right here, the RIT and IF shift. It's a pretty good radio. It's mid-80s radio. But one of the problems that I had with it was the FM. When you go to FM, it would just go dead. The receiver would just die. No audio at all. Turns out, trying to remember what I did to fix that. I'm trying to remember what I did to it. If I remember right, it was just the connections. These things got thousands of these little white plugs here, and all these things suffer from bad connections. So I had to, of course, use a little deox on it this time. You know, just to put a bare little bit on there, you know, and plug the thing in a few times, exercise it a little bit. So I got that working, and then I started looking at, okay, so I had FM receive function work, so that was good. And then, but I couldn't, it would try to transmit, I wouldn't have any transmit audio. And I traced it to right here. This is one of the little, this is the little box board right here. Anyway, let me remember how this works. Yeah, this plug right here, audio comes into the board here from the microphone. The microphone audio goes in here, goes into, I think it goes into the IF board right here. It's a transistor in here somewhere, Q34, right in here somewhere. Comes right back out of that and goes back to the Vox board, and supposedly it goes from the Vox board over to this brown to there. However, this plug here, which is 19, went to this violet wire, which had a little white plug on it, just like one of these. It turns out that this connection was over here, and that connection, the purple wire, was over here. That was wrong. It was backwards. Fixed that, got my transmit audio through my FM. So now I'm up to the next issue. So let me get everything set up here. Turn my oscilloscope on, turn on my service monitor. So here we go. I got two problems. First problem is the AM sounds like crap. It's weird. It's a weird problem. I hadn't been able to put my finger on it yet. Also, the display is going out on it. The display will just quit working, go to all zeros. And I've seen that somewhere. I got to look that up, see what that is. So anyway, let's turn the thing on and see what happens. So right now the display is on. I think I have it locked. We'll lock the display. So it's on. We're in the AM mode. Let's see, we'll put the carrier, microphone gain about midway, carrier about a little bit. So let's see. There we go. See that? At least it's on frequency. Making about 125 watts. So, that's the next problem. Radio service test, 1, 2. Well, there we go. Don't ask me what's up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at there. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. No idea. That's the problem with this radio. It self-corrects itself. That has not done that till just now. Test, 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 test. That is about as good as I've heard it. Test, 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 test. So I'm going to put you on the tripod. I need both hands. Be right back. This is a difficult shot to make with the camera. I can't get the radio and the service monitor. Let's see if I can do it this way. And I'm trying to get out of the field. So here we go. Basically, I have the output of the transmitter, which is right here. See my old fat gut, going into my dummy load panel. It's going in to this port here, which is routed up to here through this watt meter, comes out this watt meter, back down to this port, and circles around, goes back through the bird watt meter section right here, which eventually goes down to a 1 kilowatt load down there. I'm sorry, 2 kilowatt load. And I'm just taking a little signal tap right here, taking the signal off that right there, so I can feed it to my service monitor. But anyway, let's see what we got. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2. So let's start messing with stuff. Don't understand this. Why it's doing that? That thing is, I could hear it on the service monitor, but I also tuned it up on my IC7300, and it sounded the same on it. So I know this thing. Test, 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 test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know daggone well what I saw. Test, 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 test. That just freaks me out. I beat and banged on this thing yesterday till I blew in the face. Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Well, the processor's doing something. Test, test, test. You hear the gain go up. Test, 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 test. Processor off. Processor off. Test 1, 2. 1, 2. Processor on. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Don't give me a line. Don't know. This thing is, I know that is so strange. Who am I talking to? That is so strange. That blows my mind. Well, let me see if I can get it to act back up. You tell me why. Right now I have, let me turn the light back on. Alright, I got the service monitor, if you can see it. I got the external antenna. What in the world is that? Is it my service monitor just nuts? What the hell is that? Okay, so I'm going to put the service monitor back, hooked directly to the tap. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What the crap? I absolutely don't know what the hell that is. Okay. So let me do something here. I am going to simulate a signal. I don't know. That is weird. There is some kind of electrical interference here. Remember, we got all kinds of interference and stupid shot. Alright, now I'm going to generate. I got to get an adapter. Give me a second. I'm going to generate frequency out of this generator on AM. I want to see if it does the same thing. I don't understand this. Don't understand it at all. So what do we got? 14.3 megahertz. So 14.30 megahertz. And amplitude of 1. Son of a bitch. Ain't that a kick in the ass? Well, okay, don't know, some kind of, I don't understand it. Hang on. I really don't know what's going on there, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's turn that off, and let's turn on my little receiver. Just get rid of that. I gotta find 14.3. Hang on, I can't see without my glasses. Let's dial up 1400 megahertz. Can't hardly see, y'all. I'm sorry. Band 5, shortwave. Let's put some AM on it. 30. AM. 30. What's my percent? Okay, let's bring the amplitude down to about what is that? Let's go to amplitude of 250. I think I have interference in this shop. I don't know where it's coming from. That's weird. Let's turn this on. Okay, I don't know what it is. I think it's just a phenomenon that I'm just really too tired to worry about. Well, never mind. It's just picking up something in this shop. I don't know what it is. It surprised me. I thought it was a radio. I couldn't figure out what the heck it was in the radio. So I guess we'll move on. Let's figure out the display. Sorry. Let's see. Radio service test. That's weird. That is just weird. Let's turn this I want to go to amplitude of 1. Yeah, that's exactly the same thing. Isn't the service monitor? I don't know. It's the dangest thing I've ever seen in my life. Do I edit this out? I even make this stupid video? Don't know. Alright, well, let's move on. Let's just take our power tap. Let's get rid of all this off-air crap. Let's just go straight to it. I'm going to put the attenuator on about 40%. And it looks good now. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see, where is the radio? Where's the service monitor? I know you can't see the service monitor. Test, 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 test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfectly fine. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's have a look at the modulation envelope. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get you over here a little bit. What I should have done in the first place. Radio service test 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. That's good mod. Test 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. No clipping. Not going over modulating. Test 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, that's full power. 5, 5, 5, 5. I'm going to turn the mic gain up. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Right there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Ooh, Lordy. Well, okay. I should have did that yesterday. Someone told me to, and I didn't. Wasn't aware that there was some kind of weird something going on in the air here. I don't think it's my service monitor. I don't know why I would be doing that. It's just mixing with something. All I know of. I've got something wrong with this power in this building. It's just super static. I don't understand it. And like I said on the other video, I need to look at that a little more closer, figure out why my electrical is so noisy. Okay, well, let's see if we can make the display screw up. And I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just going to see if I can make the display act up, and if I can, try to figure out why. And maybe we can figure that. But I'm 99% sure it's going to be another loose connection. It's got to be electromechanical. So anyway, ain't that fun? Working on this kind of stuff when it's intermittent and you got weird oddities going on. You looking for a red herring, as they say. Alright, I'll bring you back if I can make this display act up. If we can get that display working, I think this radio will be ready. So anyway, bring you back. Let's see how this works. There's the display right now. So It never acted. It acted up a few times on me yesterday, but when it went completely out, I'm going to take. Let me widen this up a minute. This section right here, the IF section and the FM section, take two screws out right here. Screw here, and this whole thing opens up. It lets you see the control board. So here we go. I'm going to zoom you back in. Whoop, wrong way. You see the display showing 14.3 megahertz. Here we go. I'm going to open it up slowly. Slowly. The only thing moving is these wires right here. See it? It dimmed. Did it again. Right there. Whoop. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. It's definitely dimming. The only thing I'm moving is everything. So let's see. Y'all still see? Okay. Don't think there's a dimmer on there that's being affected. Definitely changing. Definitely changing. Let me back you up a little bit. If you can see it right here, this little plug has got white wire on it and shield. That's actually 5 volts. I'm going to monitor that 5 volts with my DMM. You probably won't get to see it. Actually, I won't do that. I want to measure. There's something going on. I just don't know what it is. 5 volts is fluctuating pretty good bit. Let you see the voltmeter. Where is my voltmeter?
Hello, voltmeter. Where you at?
There it is. That's 5 volts right there. Look at it going all over the place. Okay, it's going all over the place. Yes, it's fluctuating all over the place, and the display is fluctuating with it. Ah, ain't that crazy? Where does that 5 volts come from? That's what we need to know. We need to figure out that 5 volts comes from a blue wire, which is somewhere goes up in here. Goes up here to this plug. That must be the 5 volt regulator right there. Pretty warm. Look, went out. And we've lost our 5 volts. Yep, I know what the problem is. We'll have to, yep, found a problem. Woohoo! we found the problem. I know we'll have to pull the IF board out though. So I'm going to turn you off for a few minutes. Now I'll open that up. I have a suspicion I know what it is. So be back in a minute. Well, I decided to share and enjoy this. Taking that board out. In case you ever want to work on one of these. This is the IF board right here. Thinking I'm just going to take it out because it'll come out of this tray. I just need to see the back of it. I suspect I have a transistor. This regulator here is the issue. I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. Take each one of these stupid plugs off. Man, I don't want to do that. I think we're just going to take these screws out, pull the board out without unplugging anything. That's what I want to do. So if y'all are game, I'm game. Let me get my parts tray. Alright, y'all ready? I'm going to unplug you for a second. Plug you back over here so you can get out of my way a little bit. Ready? Here we go. Let me get my glasses. Sorry, gotta work. Here we go. We're going to start in the corner. Of course, nothing's going to come out easy. The radio is unpowered and unplugged. Another thing, when you have a radio like this and they're intermittent, just go ahead and, with a screwdriver, not a drill or nothing, but a screwdriver, and go into each one of these screws on these circuit boards and just see if they're tight. I mean, you ain't got to tighten them up like a water pipe, but just make sure they're snug. In fact, I probably wouldn't hurt anything to loosen it up. Loosen it up and then tighten it back up to get you some fresh contacts in between the screw and the PC board connections. And because I'm looking at I'll show you in a minute. Let me finish doing this. I can open up the tray a minute. It's got two screws holding the heatsink on. Let's see if that's enough to take it out. Nope. I think it's going to come out. Yep. Alright, let me get y'all, let's go rogue, guerrilla style. Let's see. This is the back of the IF board right here. This is the 5-volt regulator right here. This is the board, back side of the board. This is the terminals for the 5-volt regulator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put y'all down for a few minutes and I'm going to get my magnifier out. And I'm going to look at all these connections right here. Look at that really good. Make sure all that's good. And I'm sorry, I had a frame. I'm going to look at all these connections right here associated with that 5 volts. And I'm going to look them over real good and with a magnifier and probably replace that 5-volt regulator. So if I have one. Should have. Anyway, let me do all that and I'll bring you back. Y'all don't need to see all that mess. That's just boring. Be right back. Alright. On that radio, on the IF board, the 5-volt power supply comes through IC9. So the test point that was feeding power to the display is right here. It's going to be connector 20. It should be called J20. Has a ground and 5 volts right here. As you see, it comes up to the output of the regulator. And this typical 3-pole, 3-leg regulator style. Probably an LM78805 or something like that. But 47 microfarad, 10 volt electrolytic, and then a .047 ceramic. And then this center leg of the regulator IC is grounded, and you have 14 or 13.8 volts coming into it right here. And of course, it's got a 1 microfarad at 50 volt capacitor on it. So as you can see, it comes from connector J17 right there. So I don't know if I'm losing the 14 volts here, I have a bad connection on one of these pins, or am I losing the connection there? What I don't know. There's another connector 19 that it goes to. I'm really wanting to put this thing back together. Hopefully I didn't fix the problem just by moving it around. I want to put that board back in now that I know where the ins and out, the gazenas and the gazanas are, and remeasure that, see if I can make it fail again, and see if I'm getting voltage here and if I'm getting voltage there. That will kind of tell me what's wrong, because I really suspect it's one of these plugs. I looked at the PC board under magnification, and not that I see anything really bad. There's a suspect on one of these pins, but I'm going to probably take my desoldering gun, clean all that out and resolder all that stuff, fresh solder, and maybe if I have that IC, change that IC. But I'm going to put the board back in the radio, see if I can duplicate the problem and remeasure those locations now that I know where they're at, and see if I can pin that down a little bit more exact without just shooting at something and not knowing exactly what the hell it was. So I'll bring you back. Alright, I know I'm setting myself up for failure here, but I went to the trouble of printing out some important information. Here's the IC9 again, the 5-volt regulator, and right here is the input right here, number 17. And if you look on the schematic here, on the circuit board view, here is 17 here. This is 14 volts in. If you want to turn it around like that right there, there's 14 volts in. So if you look, let's see, there is 17 right there. That's what it says. There's a red and a yellow wire. Don't know what that yellow is. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about this one right here, the yellow wire. That's all I'm worried about. Okay, so let's go back over to this schematic. The output comes down here to 20. That's the one that goes to the display. So let's find 20. Here's 20 right here. That's 5 volts right there and ground to the display. Then there's other 5 volts, which is right next to it, which is that one right there. If you can see it, that plug right there. Here's 5 volts to the display right there. Here's the other 5 volts going wherever. So what I want to do is power this thing up. If I can get it to act up, I want to know if I'm getting 14 volts here to 17, and I want to see if I'm getting 5 volts here on, what is that, to 20? I'm sorry, 19. I want to see if I got 14 volts there and 5 volts there and no 5 there. If that's the case, then that tells me that the problem is in this connector right here. But if I don't have 5 volts here, don't have 5 volts there, but I've got 14 over there, then I know I've got a problem either in this connection right here or somewhere in this circuit here, which means I'm going to reflow everything. So let me get you back in the tripod and get you somewhere that you can see. Come on. Alright. What do y'all want to do? Y'all want to look at the voltmeter? Now hang on a second, I got a better solution. Got a better solution. Bear with me, folks. Rome wasn't built in a day. Let's get the bad boy out here. My free Fluke 77. Y'all remember that. Yeah, by George, we can see this mess together. Zoom in a little bit more. We'll be working around here. Alright, let's try it. Let's hope we can make this act up. Here we go. Hopefully I didn't blow nothing up. And it is dead. That's a good thing. Let's see if we got 5 volts in the display. 4.77, that's not good. 13.48. Something else is up too. Our display issue, a different display issue where it's all zero, is back. Seems to do that when I turn on the I don't know. Let's go ahead and do this. I want to just see. Can y'all see the voltmeter still? No, you cannot. Push the radio back. It's hard to do. Stupid light in the way. Yeah. The display come back. Let's see if we can get the display to fail. Of course not. Rock freaking solid. Rock freaking solid. I cannot make it act up now. That's the joy of these things, man. That regulator's starting to warm up good now. Just blinked on me. Regulator's getting really hot. Can y'all still see the voltmeter? Nope, got my big ass hand in the way. I really, you know, this is kind of futile. What about if I move the voltmeter back a little bit? Well, if I had an OLED meter, this would be easy, wouldn't it? Well, can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Lights in my way. Gotta make it act up, boys and girls. Oh, the display is out. See, I closed it, the display dies. There's something else. Look, I got perfect voltage on this thing now. Till I probe right there. I'm probing right there and it's cutting out like you wouldn't believe. I think that's the problem, you know, I really do. Can you see the meter? See, I'm moving the blue wire, which is sending 5 volts to the display, and it's steady on this other 5 volt line. But it's not steady on the 5 volt lines going to the display. See that? I think the problem is right there in this connector. We're about to give it a little bit of shot of deox. Yep, we're fixing to deox this little dude. That's the problem with these radios, this particular type radio. It's just full of these connections, and oxidized connections, man. You'll never have this thing working perfectly. It's always going to be a gremlin in this thing. I've coated it in deox, and now I'm just plugging and unplugging it, trying to get some wear on these connections. So, now that we got that, let's turn it back on. Of course, the display is still goofy, but one thing at a time. See, it's still doing it. See that? I don't know if you can or not. It's going nuts. So, do we have a issue? Do we have an issue with connection maybe on the board? No, this other 5 volts is steady. It's just this one here. Yeah. Definitely got a problem in here. So what do you think? Is it the wire? Or is it... I thought I had it out. Or is it the solder connection on the back is bad? I've had that happen too. It feels like that thing is hanging on by a freaking thread. The connection's tight. That wire is so thin, y'all, I can't even see it. Damn it. 3 pairs of glasses. Reading glasses, driving glasses, and these, and I don't know which ones to grab. Let's get that light up here. That wire right here is just hanging on by a freaking thread, y'all. By a thread. Look, let me make some progress. I'll bring you back. This is boring. Alright. There. I found the problem. However, the pin, I was doing a drag test. Doing what they call a drag test to see how that little pin right there, how snug it was on the male part. And as I pushed that in there, the whole male just moved back and forth. So I've got to repair this, which is hanging on by 1 strand of wire out of 8. So I'm going to redo this. I'm going to take the IF board back off. I'm going to get my desoldering gun, and I'm going to suck all that bad solder off of these connections involved with that, and also off of the regulator. Resolder all of that right there, clean it up real good. Let's put it back together, see if maybe it's more stable now. So, alright, so when I get through with all that fun, I'll bring you back. Alright. Somebody, when they bought, they sold the radio, before they sold the radio at ham radio at Hamfest, pulled the couple of my filters out. Oh boy. Anyway, here's the problem. I mean, here was our issue right here. That connector right there. That was the one on right there. That was the one at issue. I used my Heiko desoldering gun to clean that out, desoldered it, reflowed it, reflowed the regulator, reflowed all the connections around the regulator. I also reflowed the 5 volts going over to J20, and then I also reflowed the connection right here, which is J17, I believe, where the 14 volts come in. So that should take care of the problem. So and also repaired that connection there. It's now tight. It's got all its threads. I'm sorry, all its strands. It's good to go. So how about I just put you in the cradle here, turn my display where I can see you. You can experience the fun of putting one of these dudes back together. Mr. Carlson says, we can experience this together. All these things back in there, you don't have to get them super tight, but what I like to do is I like to feel them stop, and then I'll give them just a little slight more turn. Kind of like putting a spark plug in, just not as much torque. This thing at least should be stable now. The display, I'm hoping, is because that 5 volts was so dirty because of that loose connection, hoping that's what his problem was. Otherwise, we got to go figure out what's wrong with the display. Hoping once we get all these little things fixed, this radio will actually be usable. It's always been a little gremlin. Had a little gremlin running around in it. And that's why I have that 7300. I just got tired of chasing the problems in this, but then I decided I wanted to use this one again sometimes because I like the way it sounds. It actually works really good. I need to figure out, need to reroute this. Once I get this working like I want, I might go back and tie all these things up, but I really don't think it's necessary. This wire loom has apparently been altered. Yep, that was a good solid connection right there. Ain't no point in tying all this mess up till we get it fixed and working. Okay, if that makes any sense to you. Let me plug it in. Power up. And the display is still stupid. But that's okay. That's what we're here for, right? Fix things. We just want to make sure we got a stable 5 volts to the display. .81 volts. I can move that around. I can move all this mess around, and it is stable as a rock. So now we got to figure out what's wrong with the display. Why is the display doing that? So while the display is doing its thing, which has got that little 0 in it, I'm sure it's another connection, so I want to see, and I do not remember, does this thing make power? If it does, where does it make power at? So let's move that over to the frequency counter, which I have turned off, of course. Trying to look for noise. Alright, here we go. Don't have a clue what band we're on. Alright, it is dead. So that kills synthesizer and everything. I had a problem. I think it was this green connector over here. Like you can really see, right? Let me move that in a safe place out of my way. What would cause the display to not work? And it seems to be when you open this thing up and close it. But of course we can't see nothing because the radio's pointing way down, so pick it up a little bit. There we go. Now I can see what's going on. Sorry about that chair. That chair sounds like an old creaking ship, doesn't it? I don't know if you can see the display that good. I can't get it to turn. Would y'all like that as a view? Alright, we're looking at that display. We're going to turn it off. Turn it back on. Let's see, we'll unlock it. If I unlock it, you see it? You see I rotated, doing something. So let's see. That's solid. I'll move these till I'm blue in the face. Let's just start moving stuff. That's how you have to do this stuff sometimes. Just start playing with it a little bit, moving things around, saying magic words like blank, blank, blank. You know what I'm saying. I guess we're recording, yeah. So I'm going to open the hood. Oh, look. Came back on. Look at there. Now we're making power again. See that? Just moves the thing and it came on. That's what we're dealing with, boys and girls. Now, are we messing with a ground thing or something? This thing should be. Let's measure this as we open it up. I'm just wondering. Shouldn't be a ground. So far, just about every problem I've had with this is connections. You got to get it just right. I had some freeze mist. Sometimes you can use freeze mist, it'll find these loose connections, because what you're doing is you're making the, cold makes things contract or shrink. Sometimes you can force an intermittent connection. Twisting this board here, that's not doing us anything. Look, quit again, just for closing it. What the devil? Just touch this right here. Oh, ain't this stuff fun, y'all? I mean, I just flexed that board ever so slightly. This may be a little more in depth. I keep going back to the display board, but I just can't see that being the issue. I thought we fixed that problem. And I reflowed all the pins on this 5-volt regulator. I think all that 5 volts does is powers the display itself, not actually the actual see that? And you see the S meter? Plug the speaker into this thing. That's weird. You see what the S meter was doing? Alright, let's try that again. What the crap? Let's put a jumper lead on the frame of this system here, or this right here, and ground it to this frame. Let's try again. That's not the problem. I'm just going to randomly measure some voltages. Okay, I have 4 volts there, 4.25 there. Nothing's changing on that. That's weird. There ain't no telling with this thing and how many people have had their hands in it. You just got to take your time and be patient, y'all. You can't be impatient with this. A shotgun. It's not these connections. They'll come up and bite you every time. It's kind of fun, but I wouldn't use this radio as a depender. In other words, I wouldn't take this thing out if you're trying to do a contest somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I wouldn't do it. For a backup radio, this would be fine. It's a good radio. That's odd. What is making contact or not? I mean, just the act of that right there. And I can flex the board and it works fine. When I do this. What the hell is changing? It's like a short. You hear that pop? Tell you what I want to do. I want to get this off from this power supply. And I'm going to plug this into my bench, my other power supply, so I can see what's going on. I want to see the current flowing through this radio to see if maybe I have a short. Can't transmit on it. Hang on, y'all. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I have to reach across there where I have my power supply. Oh, this mess hooked up right. Yeah. We're drawing an amp on the power supply right here. If I turn you around. This thing all juked up. Just a second, y'all. I'm sorry. Alright, where you at? Bench power supply, one of them. Going about an amp. So let's see what happens when I lift the hood on this thing. Lifting the hood. If it's a short, it's not doing anything to the watt meter. I mean the amp meter. What is that? What is changing when I move that? That is so odd. Alright, zoom me back out. Oh, this tripod getting on my case. I don't know. Put you back over here. See if I can knock you down. Zoom you in just a skosh. Can you see? Here we go. See? Tighten it. Alright, would y'all like to be able to see what I'm doing? At least, maybe. Weird. Okay, I'm just going to probe around. Push these wires. I'll find it. Let's see, there was another one that oh, where'd it go? Should we generate a signal? Let's just generate a signal so we can kind of hear it. Put some tone in it, so we can just hear if we do something while we're probing around. It's got to be electromechanical. Odd problem. I wonder. Right there. I'm going to loosen this up. I'm going to close it again. I have a suspicion. Act like something. Yeah, maybe not. Right there. You hear that? I think I know what the problem is. I think one of these screws that's going through here is touching something that shouldn't be touching. I think so. Don't know what yet, but I'm finding it. I think I know what the problem is. I just don't know where it's at. If you don't mind going rogue a minute, I'll show you. Hang on a second. Apologize for the bumpy ride. You see these screws right here? Protrudes from the bottom of the chassis. That is what the problem is. It's pushing on something, somehow, somewhere. Aha! There we go. I think I found it. You hear that? I'm gonna bring you back. Alright kids, I told you, you have to be patient. Let me show you real quick. There's not a lot of light. But this wire right here, this cable right here, if I unplug that cable, I'll lose reception and the display goes out. So that tells me that's the circuit we're looking for. However, I poked, prodded, done everything I could, but I got them tracing it to the other side, okay? And it's this cable right here. Hear it? Put my hand on it. It should display. Make a liar out of me, you bastard. There's another loose connection right there. That was a loose connection. You know what I saw? See? I know damn well when I move that connection, it quit. See? That is exactly the problem that we were having. When I moved that connection, just tapped on it. You can hear it scratchy, scratchy. This one too. So in the interest of not having to do that again, I'm going to power the radio. I'm going to pull that board out. I'm going to resolder those connections on those pins, and I'm going to deaux the other side of the cable. And we'll see what happens. It should be stable now. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. I'll be back when I get this done. Alright, I had to show this. This is the, I think this is the RF board. But this is this cable that I said was, where is it at? I touched it, it would go crazy. I'm going to show you something. And get you where you can see this. Look, this is where it plugs it. Look at that. Can you see that? The whole damn thing is about to fall out. And this one here ain't much different. Holy moly. Alright, let me get this stupid thing fixed. I think we found the problem. Alright. I have repaired the loose connections on the RF board. And buddy, they were bad. It had cold solder joints around the shield and the interconductor side of the connector. And I got a picture of that to prove it. I think, barring anything else, this thing ought to be fairly stable now. So I'm about to fire it up here in just a second. Alright, DC power supply is on, everything's set up, I'm still radiating a 14.3 megahertz signal. So here we go. Let's see. Whatever that goofy signal is. I can open and close the lid now, no problems. So I'm just going to ignore that. So generate an FM signal, AM off. Okay. So we'll turn the service monitor back on. Turn this off. All right. Here we go. It's FM. AM. Let's go back down AM. the computer. So the first thing I want to do, turn that off. I want to check the carrier frequency on my spectrum analyzer. So I'm coming off the tap, the isolated RF sampler port, going straight to my, let's see, get you on my spectrum analyzer if I can find it. Where are you? There it is, way up there. I said you're trying to move the damn display on the camera. Here we go, on transmit, I think. 14.3 megahertz AM. Here we go. I'm measuring 75 watts right now. We'll do 125. This is a strong little radio. 14.299999. That is pretty close. Let's see how the service monitor likes it. Alright, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Then we're going to flip this to FM. Squelch it. Put this on FM. 14.3 megahertz. 14.3 megahertz. Let's see. Let's set that up there. Yes, sir. We got 4. I set it for 5 kilohertz deviation yesterday. So we should be good there, which we are. Test, 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 test. Boom. I think this thing just makes 75 watts because, oh, the other thing we got to do is work on, I forgot all about that, the band switches. Oh, I got that locked. The band switches need a little cleaning. That should be 29.8 megahertz. Let's see what it is. Pretty close. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so go to SSB. It'll stand by. Put this up to the scope. 29.8. 29.8. Let's look at the scope. We don't want to look at that stupid thing there anymore. That's boring. There is the scope. Let's see, we're going to zoom you in a little bit. There's SSB. 29.8 megahertz. 29.8 megahertz. Hello, hello. Hello. 5. Hello, test. That's a strong radio. I like it. This radio works good when it works. Test 1, 2. Hello. Let's go to 14.3. 14.3. 5, 5, 5. I ain't sure why it went down and, oh, I know, because my pickup is not really rated for this lower frequency. As you notice, as I go down in frequency, I have to turn that up a little bit. That's actually made for VHF stuff. There's why. Hello, 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 hello. Audio. I think he's a really strong performer. .8 megahertz. See, it's not really coupling good at that. Test 1, 2. 5, 5. 3.8 megahertz. 5, 5. 5, 5. Zoom you out a little bit. You can see the watt meter. point you up a little bit right there. There we go. Zoom you in a little bit more. Hell. 5. Yeah, that's pretty good. 7,300 megahertz. Oop. 10.35. Yeah, I gotta clean the band switches. 14.3, 5. 14.3, hello. 18.3. 21.3, 5. Excuse me. $28.8, 5, 4. I say it's a strong radio. Works really good. So now let's listen to it, see what it'll pick up. I'm going to hook it to an outside antenna. I think sooner or later I can get this stupid thing off. Let me back you up. Could just let you wait till I unhook all this mess. Don't need that. Need that to all noise. That gun. That radio down. Oh, it's cheap adapters, man. I grabbed this out of my junk on my connector box a while ago. Let's just see. Can't transmit on it because it's actually a VHF antenna, but all right. There's that stupid heater. Can't have anything.
Call sign is Kenwood Vehicle Service, Delta Uniform Whiskey on standby.
This is on a 4-bay decibel VHF antenna. Not made for HF. The notch filter kind of notches a little bit. I think I found another problem.
Echo Alpha 5, Juliet Zulu, looking for the Pacific, beaming long path for ZL, DK.
Yep. You got to figure out what's up with the notch filter.
Okay, let me call one more. This is Echo Alpha 5, Japan.
Echo Alpha 5, it's somewhere in Europe. See if we can hear WWV. Something's up with that notch filter. There's an FT8, 14074. So 17 meter. So I want some more FT8. $15 by the way. It's FT8 again on 10 meters. That should be what, FT4. Anyway, that works. Now, I'm not sure what's up with that notch filter. I got to go through this thing some more. But we got the big problem fixed. I'm going to look at this notch filter, see what's up with it. I have a feeling it's some more leftovers from the previous owner. So anyway, I'm going to close this. I'm going to play with this notch filter and give me a break, and might go get some coffee. So I'll be back shortly. Alright, back one more time. I found the problem with the notch filter being flaky. And guess what? I give you 3 guesses. 3. What it was. Loose connection on one of the circuit boards. You got it! Not just 1 ring connection, not 2, but 3 ring connections. Woohoo! Anyway, it was on the IF board. Wasn't hard to find. It was big old rings on it. I just went ahead and desoldered it all, cleaned it up, put fresh solder on it. Everything's good, and checked the rest of them on that board. So, as far as the IF board's concerned, hopefully will be good. Anyway, I've got it just about ready to power up. Hopefully it won't go boom. Let me pick it up a little bit while I see it. Let's find us a signal. Had not hooked the antenna. What did I do? I don't like desoldering stuff on a chassis. And just for safety, y'all, when you're working on a piece of equipment, and when I mean safety, I'm talking about safety for the components that you're working on, whatever you're working on. If you're working on something and you got it on the workbench like I do, and you got a power cable to it, you got your test leads hooked to it, and maybe an antenna or something like that, unhook everything off that antenna. I mean off that radio or device under test, okay? Then what you, and the reason why, if you take your soldering iron, which the tip is ground, if there's any kind of loop current of any kind, some AC maybe from a bad ground somewhere, you could do some damage to your equipment. Okay, so when you desolder something or solder something that's on a radio that's on your bench, unless it's an old tube type, but I just practice, I like to unhook everything when I solder or unsolder from a chassis or something, but especially solid state stuff. Unhook everything off your radio or whatever you're working on, then do your soldering on your board there, on your chassis, whatever. Then you hook it all back up. It's just a little safe thing. That's what I was taught. So anyway, got it hooked up, so let's see what it does now. Let's find a signal. Like that. Find some humans talking. Okay, who turned the noise filter back on? You hear it change pitch a little bit? He had a little bit of a Scottish accent to him, didn't he? Now, I think it's pretty good. I think I'm going to go through... I don't think I'm going to do an alignment on it. I was. The S meter, I need to double check it to make sure it's functioning right, because it just seems dead to me. It does receive, it does work on transmit, but it just seemed like it's kind of sluggish on... Let me see. I'm picking up signals. Yeah, even receiving these, I should have some kind of S meter signal. It just seems like it's working, but it's not working as good as it should. Let's go to 14 megahertz if I can make this. I still got to fix the up and down switches on this thing. Yeah, I got a little S meter signal on that, but
Frequencies in use, please move.
yep, everybody owns their own frequencies, that's for sure. It's a slow scan. Let's just go to 14074. It ain't gonna be voice. But there'll be a bunch of signals on there. See, it's like that one there is about a +3. I'm just going to check it, make sure it's fine. It's probably, don't act like a loose connection, but I don't think I'm going to proceed with this video much longer. It's going to be, I'm going to have a, I don't know if I'm going to edit it or not. It's probably 3 hours of video. But as you can see, the stuff that you and I have done to this thing is making it a lot more reliable. So I'm going to go put it all back together as far as the circuit boards. Go make me some coffee, and then I'm going to get the manual out and look up under S meter and make sure that it's functioning right. Might do a minimum, a minor alignment on this thing, but that's another ball of wax. But hey, we got it working about as good as I could expect it. It'll be a good addition to a backup or a casual using radio, because honestly I love the sound of this better than that 7300. I think it's a hotter receiver than that 7300. But anyway, that's it. Thank y'all for watching. If I have anything special, I might make an addendum or something. Who knows? See y'all later. Alright, I wanted to demonstrate that the notch filter actually does work. What I'm doing is I'm generating on the service monitor 14.3 megahertz on AM. I'm generating 400 hertz. Okay, I'm generating 14.3 megahertz as carrier frequency. I'm modulating it with AM mod at 400 hertz. So 14.3. If I come over here, I've turned on the notch filter, and now I'll tune it. Let's turn the volume up. You hear this 400 hertz tone? Now I've got the notch filter on, so now I'm going to turn it slowly. I have eliminated that 400 hertz. Now let's change the tone data. 600 hertz. Here it come back. Let's try that. So that means the notch filter is working properly. Yay! Be right back with the S meter check out. Okay, I had to brush up on my stuff a little bit, but the S meter is pretty accurate. According to my chart, whatever I did with it, 25 microvolts should be S8. And according to my chart, if I remember correctly. I just did this a few minutes ago, and you know how my memory is. But anyway, it seemed to do everything that the chart said it's supposed to do, so I'm good with that. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is so I'm going to put the 2 screws in the IF chassis in the back of the tray, and I'm going to see if I can clean those up and down band switches, which, you know, we could be dealing with bad connections again, but I think it's the switches just need clean if we can get in there. So that's next, and hopefully after we do that, this thing ought to be ready to put back together. So here we go. All right. Went ahead and repaired the band up and down switches. That was fun. I didn't take videos of it because it was quite a job. There's a lot of stuff behind the front end of that, where the front cover of this radio. I took some stills of it, so give you an idea of what I was into. Don't want to do that again in another 15 years. Anyway, I think everything is working. Let me show you. Turn this around. As you can see, band up, band down, band up, memories, let's see, A, B switches work. Remember where you done it. Everything seems to work. Test. It makes plenty of power on each band. Seems to be received. The receiver seems to work. The S meter seems to work. I haven't done, let's see, him in. See, so let's go to this band. And I want to memory channels work. So turn that off. A and B VCOs work. And remember where you left them. I was trying to pick up stuff and it's on the dumb load up there. Notch filter works. Squelch works. I think the attenuator works. We'll check that in just a second. Now the transmit works. It's possible the attenuator don't work. Lord have mercy. Change this. Hold on just a minute. That connector is about to give me the red butt. Let's get a real connector. I think that one's going to go in the garbage. I don't like that connector. It's just being a butt all the way around. Yeah. Yeah, the attenuator works. Tuned out that guy tuning his radio. Watch. Everything works. So I'd call that a success. I am done working on this radio. That was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. So that's it, I think. Everything seems to work that I think it should work. We fixed a lot of problems. You saw what was, I tried to show you what was the biggest problems in these things, was the connections. They're just cold solder joints, biggest problem. And then the switches, you know, they go bad after a while. But I just took the band switches, up and down switches, took them out, which wasn't easy, and just used my CRC contact cleaner. And I'll show you this. There's a hole in the back of them switches. I just saturated the inside of that switch with them and exercised them about 10-15 times. Seemed to work. At least it works now. So I'm going to put this thing back together, and that'll be that. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, please. When I hit 500 subscribers, which is to me is a major achievement, being I've got less than 70 videos, I think that's pretty good. Maybe I'll come up with something that we can have for a 500 subscriber party, or whatever you want to call it, celebration. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to put the radio together and then download all these files and try to make sense of them and make a video. Guys, stay safe, be careful. We'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Adios. Bye. Better turn it. Well, it's the next day, and I thought I was done with this this TS430, and I'm not. I noticed that the fan didn't want to come on. I mean, I left it on transmit on CW for like 5 minutes, and the fan never come on. Not the best fan control circuit in here. They have a thermistor. Hang on. I mean a varistor. Hang on just a second. I got a varistor. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see. Let me find a pointer. Give me just a second. But that little sucker right, I know it's hard to see, but it's black. Let me see if I can get some light. Right there. A little closer. It's that little shiny thing right there. That to me is not an optimal place for this. This thing should have been mounted like over here on this heatsink, where it can, somewhere like close to this screw right here, where it could get a little bit more realistic sampling of what's going on here. But that's where they want it, so I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. But I did look. I've checked. The control circuitry is actually right in this area here. There's an IC buried under all that stuff, and then a transistor and a couple other things. But that's the this is the filter board right here, and actually band switch / filter, if you want to call it that. But that's where all the stuff is. I got to take about 5 or 6 connections off, 6 screws, pull the thing out. And but everything checks fine. The motor checks fine. The varistor is changing values like it should, so that's not a problem. I looked it up online last night, and there's a modification to make this fan a little more sensitive, which is what I want. So I'm going to do that modification, and and I'll show you on the schematic when I get to that point what I have to do. Matter of fact, I don't have the schematic on me right now when I'm making this video, but I'll show it to you here shortly. So anyway, I'm going to take this thing back apart, make the modification in it. I'll show you on the schematic what's going on and why it does what it does, and get it back together. Hope this thing works. So bring it back. Holy moly, I don't want to do that again. That was fun. I wouldn't recommend that to nobody. Getting in the back of that PA with all them little wires, all that stuff's got to be routed so. I could have made 1,000 mistakes. So anyway, let me show you something. Here it is, back together other than the cases. I got everything back together best I could. I found one broke wire. It was on the transverter socket, which is back here. One little white wire that comes back down here to what is it, the board under here, which is, I think is our RF board. Anyway, back together. I went and put some tie wires on it and tried to make it look like it's made it a lot neater. Don't know about the lead spacing, but it's done. Alright, so I haven't powered it up yet, so I'm going to power it up right now. So Not drawing excessive current right now. Don't have this, but all of this does work. I need to hook the speaker up, make sure the receiver section works first. Let's see. Could already have done that. That would have saved a little video time, wouldn't it? But that's no problem. Don't smell no smoke yet. All that works. Good. All that works, and it didn't go up in smoke. And basically all I did was tie this power supply into this one here. Give me some current. So now I just got to hook it up to the dummy load. Power it up, make sure it works on all bands, and check all the features again. Not seeing no RF. Not seeing any RF. Exactly what I figured. Alright, seeing RF there. RF there. RF there. RF there. RF on that band right there. Ain't that special? Let's do AM. Let's do FM. Nope. Got a band out. Ah, hell, I don't know. No, I'm such a dummy. Wasn't transmitting on 160 meters because, see it transmitting now? I'll let y'all be the judge of what's up. Out of band. That's all. 1800 megahertz, doing plenty of power. So it ain't burned up yet, and seems to be working. Let's put a USB on here, and let's go up to 14300. Lock that in. Lord, I don't know what else to do to this thing. There's several other modifications you can do to this thing, but I'm not going to worry about them. Radio service test 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, test 1, 2. That is the single sideband envelope. Test 1, 2. Carrier seems to be balanced. Hello, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unless I miss something, this thing should be complete. But what I want to do now is I'm going to turn it on carrier, and I want to see if the fan comes up like it should. And that should be the last thing I need to do. Just verify that the fan does work. And I did hook it up. So be right back. Okay, I'm running a little over 75 watts. So let's see if that little sucker comes on. So far the PA is not warm yet. Still making power. Let's see if we can get in there and see that fan. Well, you can see the blades in there somewhere. Yeah, the fan is not running yet, but the PA, the heatsink is just now getting warm. I personally think they should have put that temperature sensor on the metal of the heatsink instead of just floating in the air. But one thing about it though is I don't have the case on, the cover on here. So let's just put the cover on the top. That'll trap a little bit of heat. That's one thing I didn't think about. Some modifications on some of these that you actually just go in there across the control resistor and you put a small value resistor across it, just so the fan will run slowly. Not loud enough to be a nuisance, but it will start running slowly. Nothing yet. Still nothing. I guess this stupid thing ain't gonna work. We'll burn up one. Still at 75 watts. Normally it's not a problem, and I don't know what that is. I think my memory card did. Alright, fan is running. I don't know if this is even recording or not. So the fan is running. So it's doing its job. And I got 2 minutes of card left. Well, that's it. I am done. I'm going to put the cover back on this, clean it up, and get ready to put in its new home. I think it's fine. I don't think I need to do an alignment or nothing like that. It seems to be working good enough. But once I get it on the air, I'll do some air test, and if somebody says it doesn't sound right or something, I'll put it back on the bench. But from all my tests, I can tell it's working good. As good as this old radio can work. Anyway, that's it. Running out of memory card, and we'll see you later. Thanks for hanging in there. This might be a long one. We'll see. Y'all have a good day. Thanks, and like and subscribe if you had. Bye.